Welcome back, everyone. Boy, has it been a hot minute.
It's been several minutes.
Indeed it has. Hello, America, by which I mean the world. How are you?
Yeah,
Whoa! Hey! Hang on a second here.
Yeah, it's not the world; it's the worldo.
Zivelto.
Good point.
Yeah. Got to get all them Jojo's fans involved.
I have had a friend from my orchestra who's been running through JoJo part by part in the manga, and every time he finishes a part, he reaches out to me and goes, "What the holy shit?"
Yeah,
that was my experience watching the anime. I've had to make several attempts trying to watch the anime, and like I get a little bit further each time, but like eventually I reach a point where I just can't take all the nonsense, and I'm like, okay, no, I need to step away from this for a while.
You know,
my solution to that issue is watch one part out of order, then go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Which I know is unholy sacrilege, but there are parts that just don't resonate with people, and if you're started on them, you're fucked. So watch something out of order, go back, and you'll be like, oh, that's what that shit was about.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe by the time I'm 40, I'll be able to understand all your JoJo references. So
it's possible.
Fair,
but
I refuse to watch JoJo because I don't care enough. That manga has been around for like 40 years, and I don't care enough, really. So,
all right.
I mean, it's responsible for about 40% of what we sing at karaoke these days.
Fair enough. Yeah, true.
So guys, we have some more questions this week.
Oh
no,
boy!
We don't. No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Are these real?
Is it Neris and yes,
no,
two of your other friends?
Both are from Mai.
Oh, both of them from Mai, huh?
Yes.
She actually takes time out of her day to watch.
Oh no!
Hi,
no!
Mai.
No!
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh God! No! Okay, fine.
No.
Fine.
You know what? I'm gonna send you the screenshot because fuck you guys.
Yeah, I
fine,
couldn't see what that said
I
anyway.
can't believe. I'm sorry.
All right, so
I'm so
obviously, you guys had a conversation I did not have.
So, I'm gonna upload this to the server so that you all know that Mai actually did ask us some questions. So the first question is actually a very I like this one a lot. She asked was there any activities or hobbies that we tried or wanted to try because of an anime we watched?
Yes.
Well,
would you like to elaborate to the class, Steve?
Yeah, I will. So, very early on in like Temple, especially in the game room when I was kind of starting to show up and be a more frequent participant, I learned how to play Mahjong through a guy named Fu. He was one of our like friends. It was friends of pretty much all of us, except I think Tino.
He might have been before I showed up.
Yeah, he graduated well before your time. I do just want to point out something about Fu. His full name was Kung Du, and Fu was his nickname. So that Fu was his nickname, often put as in the middle of that, so that his name was Kung Fu.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, I just love the pun too much.
Yeah, so
Fu, if you're out there, I love your name.
Yeah. So
he is, and I can make him listen to this podcast.
Oh, that'll be
but
great.
do you want to?
That's the problem.
Want to, but
so anyway, I learned how to play Mahjong through Fu, and it was mainly because I was interested through the anime Akagi, as well as Saki a little bit later, and yeah, so I guess that is my story.
I wouldn't say a hobby, but there have been a couple influences on me. Most notable, I think the singular anime that has had the most influences on some of my thought patterns and behavior, I guess, has been Black Lagoon. There's a couple of ways in which this manifested. First of all, back in 2014, it got really cold. We had a lot of snow, kind of like this year. And there was a point at which because of my job, I have to go out in it all the time. And there was a point at which I got so sick of going out there that like I actually had fantasies about, you know what? I don't care that, you know, this fictional city of Roanapur in Southeast Asia in Thailand is like supposed to be full of drugs and piracy and all that. It's warmer than here. I kind of want to go. Another way that it has influenced me is that Bacardi Gold has become my liquor of choice when I choose to consume liquor, and I will say that Bacardi Gold is good. Bacardi Spiced is even better.
Do you like Heineken beer?
I will drink a Heineken every so often. I prefer Yingling to it, though. There is
I didn't ask about Heineken. I asked about Heineken.
Well, I don't know. I've never encountered it.
Do you also enjoy guns and destroying people?
Well, I did purchase my first firearm within the last couple of months, and I went with Will's suggestion, a Beretta 92 FS, and then after the fact, I realized, wait a second. Now I realize why this gun profile looks so familiar. If you just, you know, change the colors around and put some Thai writing on the side, it's the same kind of guns that Revy used. So
Yep.
Yeah, so Black Lagoon is having a kind of a disturbingly large influence on me, and probably not a good one. If I ever,
I am going to ruin that for you, Tino.
Oh boy,
I'm going to ruin that for you right now, because Revy's guns are. So you're right, they are Berettas. They are heavily modified Berettas.
Well, yeah.
Called Cutlasses, made for her by another character in the show.
Yeah, I know. I was watching Roberta's Blood Trail just the other day.
Didn't we watch the show together in Anime Club?
This is like
but not the part. It didn't never
2010.
get up to that part. Roberta's Blood Trail did cover that part, though.
Well, that didn't come out until 2010, though. So yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Well, you see, there was this anime called Higurashi, and
you like murder
so
and
that's
mystery?
why.
Yeah.
So that's why your apartment smells like dead
you
bodies.
like torturing children in a small haunted village, Dave.
Yes.
I only ever watched that anime once, and I'm still scarred.
Oh man,
that scarred me more than Black Lagoon.
Yeah, so that stealth remake that's actually a continuation would fuck your ass up. It's actually kind of interesting because when it comes to having picked up things because I watched them in anime, I kind of can't think of any major examples. I can think of things that I was into, and because I was into them, I pursued an anime related to them. I used to play Go, the game Go, pretty avidly, and so there's a time where I. What?
I don't know you played it regularly.
I did stop, mainly because the people I played with all moved away and graduated high school. But I did check out the anime Hikaru no Go. That being said, what happens to me more frequently is that anime will introduce a concept or a topic, and I'll be like, that's interesting, and I'll research and become very knowledgeable about a very niche thing because I saw this in an anime once.
Ah, okay.
Which is how I learned a lot about Japanese history.
Sengoku Basara was a bit of a misrepresentation.
No. Usuagi Kenshin was the real man of history we all need to learn from. A man so pretty his assassin fell in love with him and was just like, yeah, I love you, sir.
That seems to happen to a disturbingly high number of anime protagonists, though.
What? Are you saying there's a pattern?
Maybe.
Who knows?
What? No, that's not true.
All I'm saying is that first scene from Macross Frontier, you know, Alto. Oh, I'm sorry, miss.
Tino, no. Look, that military AI from Sword Art Online didn't fall in love with Kirito. It obviously just wanted to become his roommate in college.
Oh, obviously.
Why are you doing this? What is the purpose? For us just to suffer?
Yes. Anyway, so on that note, anyone who knows the show Hajime no Ippo knows where this is going.
I'm sure you became a fighter.
Well, I didn't become a fighter, but I actually took up boxing for a while. Like, I was training in it. It was a lot of fun. And
that anime is super unrealistic, though.
well, yeah.
Welcome
but
to the genre.
I'm not training to try to actually do the Dempsey roll in the ring. It's like, hey, Hajime no Ippo is cool. I want to train boxing, and then you learn some real boxing stuff, and it's like, oh, this is actually kind of fun. So
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Ippo wasn't realistic, but it had a very realistic end for Ippo.
yeah. Let's not get into that right now because I'm.
We
so
ain't
mad upset.
gonna talk about that shit. That's just depressing.
Yeah, not.
And the
That's
Metros
true.
has a very specific kind of depressing. It's the depressing is like, oh, this is the logical conclusion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Damn.
I watched the anime that was very centered around shogi, and that anime actually kind of helped me learn the game a little bit.
Oh, okay. Oh, the game called Shogi?
Shogi, yeah, but yeah.
Shogi.
I think it was
okay.
called. I think it was called Shion no O, which is like Shion's king in Japanese.
Okay.
Mm.
And yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, like, I like chess in general, and shogi is basically Japanese chess. There's a couple rule changes, but the game is essentially the same in terms of like the winning conditions and stuff.
Mm.
So I like shogi a lot, but I haven't played in a while. I like Chinese chess too, but you know.
So did
before we
my
get to the
did my
second question-
I was about to ask if my had a second question, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, were you gonna say something first though?
No, that's what I
All
was
right.
asking.
So before we get to the second question, though, there's two things that were brought up that I want to kind of jump off of. When you mentioned Fu and Mahjong in the game room,
Yeah.
there was like a solid 6 months where he was not happy with me because
Why?
I played one game in his like ranked leaderboard.
Oh,
Mahjong
I
thing.
remember this story.
Yeah, I played one game and I won, and I refused to play again. So I was by
you were that asshole!
by default, I was the best Mahjong player in his rankings. And at one point, he just had to wipe the scoreboard. And I actually said, maybe I'll play again just to see if I can get ranked. He said, no, you're not allowed.
Wait. Hang on. You guys had leaderboards and Mahjong in the game room? With like this wasn't like a game you were physically playing in? And you had like a whiteboard or something?
No. This was a game they were physically playing, but Fu was keeping track of like
Wins
who
and
was
losses.
winning the big games.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Will, and because Mahjong is partially chance, Will lucked out and won like a big ranked match. And then Will sat on the title belt like a piece of shit for the rest until the fucking championship had to be reset. Will went to WrestleMania as the bottom of the card.
I mean, hey, I'm undefeated in Magic the Gathering for the exact same reason.
Y'all are a bunch of titles. Y'all are a bunch of belt-sitting assholes.
I'm also undefeated in
Will's the one who taught me to play Magic the Gathering. I beat him somehow, despite not knowing what I was doing. And then I was like,
you
all
guys
right,
are the tag team that Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out of retirement for a segment where he beats you with a chair for it.
In fairness, I'm also technically undefeated in Andrew Dixon's Mega Man NT card game tournament stuff that he was doing for a hot minute.
Oh no.
And now he's not no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not.
But,
Oh God.
so, also, so Tino, you mentioned the snow we got in 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys remember this story. In 2014, I was working at a residential facility for the mentally challenged.
Mm-hmm.
And we had just gotten we called them clients, basically. And we had gotten a new client who had like no medical history, anything like that. And my boss had actually assigned me to this client because I had done such a good job with my previous clients. So now I was this client's one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he had a thing for bottles. Like, he loved plastic bottles. He loved dumping them out and filling them with water and dumping them out and filling them with... He could do that all day if you let him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And not just, like, the kind of plastic water bottles you drink from, but, like, you know, maybe, like, the thermoses that you see in the kitchen. Maybe a bottle of hand sanitizer. Maybe a bottle of bleach if it's out.
Oh no.
Which
Oh jeez.
someone left out a bottle of bleach in the
yes.
laundry room.
Oh,
So as
no.
I'm walking with him, I see him go for the bleach. And I couldn't see if there was a cap on it. I could just see the bottle. So I go for the bleach too.
Oh no.
So we're wrestling with this bleach. And at one point, I literally just, and I grab the bottle of bleach away from him. And he chomps right down on my arm.
Oh goodness.
Now I have 2 shirts and a hoodie on. And so I'm thinking like, all right, I got some protection, but I got to use a tactic that they taught you if you get bit, which is like, let's say this is the mouth. If they bite you, you don't pull out because that's just going to rip your skin. You actually push in and then you like open their jaw a bit and then you can pull out without any resistance.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what they don't teach you. When it's a fleshy part of your body, like your tricep, you're just pushing more of your flesh into his teeth. So this ended up looking like the most amateur Brazilian jiu-jitsu match because we were rolling around on the ground. He would not let go.
God.
Jesus.
Like he was hanging on, and I had to walk. Now there's snow, and there's like a foot of snow on the ground. I was in what was called cabin 17. My boss was in cabin 16, about 500 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
I had to drag him barefoot through the snow. He was barefoot, not me. To get to my boss. To have my boss help me unhinge him from my arm.
Oh gosh.
After doing that, she called some of the employees and they put me in like the one of the company vans. They were going to take me to the nearby hospital, which thankfully any and all injuries that you got on the job, they paid 100% for.
Mm-hmm.
So at least
Well,
that's good.
As
That's
they should.
that's reasonable considering where you were working.
Yeah. I was stuck in the van for 6.5 hours because we got stuck in the snow.
Oh gosh.
So
Were you-
I'm in there. Like I have like paper towels on my arm.
Oh.
I think at one point it stopped bleeding. Oh yeah, he bit through my hoodie and broke the skin.
Oh God.
That's a powerful jaw
no.
there. Wow.
Yeah, well the best part was eventually like we got his medical stuff and his family got in touch and his family said something to me of like, "Oh, is he eating? He has a weak jaw." And I'm just sitting there like, "A weak jaw?
Are you sure about that?
Do you know what he
Feels
did to me?"
strong, baby.
I have embedded proof in my arm, motherfucker, that's a lie.
A weak jaw
So-
compared to what? A velociraptor?
I'm maybe an alligator. I don't know. All I know is that it's super faded now, but I still have a scar.
Oh my
And
gosh.
for like 3 years after this incident, you could see it real easily.
Mm.
Like it was in there.
Oh boy.
Man, wait, now how visible is it? Is it like this visible or is it on the
No,
other
like you have to
Oh.
look, and I have to like point out where it is exactly, and even I have trouble seeing it anymore.
All right,
Got bit, so-
jeez. Holy
yeah.
shit.
Man, the thing...
And we lost him.
Hold on.
Hi, Bakugo.
Are you okay?
Hi,
I don't
Will.
know what happened there. Hi,
Man.
everybody.
The things we
Anyway.
do for
Hi, Lawyer Will.
The second question we have from by the way, is it's very simple. It reads, silk PJs, and that's it. That's the question.
I
Is she
ain't a
asking
fan
if
of
you
wearing
wear
much to
them?
bed because I overheat easily. But if it was like silk underwear, then yeah, I'd wear that.
This is a conversation that I didn't foresee us having.
Silk is too comfortable. Like, if I wear anything silk, I feel weird and I have to go like one level down. Like, give me like cotton or something. So
I
if
feel like
wore
this
silk-
is a really specific call out Maya's doing right now.
Yeah, it feels
it
that
probably
way.
is. We're feeding right into it too.
It's like, oh, I don't make enough money to feel this comfortable. Here, one level down, one level down. I need something more
Yeah.
plebeian.
Makes sense.
Right.
So
well,
those are the questions. Unless Tino and Steve want to go into them.
no,
No.
I'm good.
No, I'm definitely good.
All right.
I'm not talking about what I wear to bed on the internet. Are you kidding?
I'm already wearing what I'm going to wear to bed on the internet.
I say bring on
Yeah,
the fan art.
me too.
Oh, Jesus.
I fall asleep right over there on the couch, like, a lot.
Okay. Well, that's a perfect time to change the conversation to
I'm not
entirely.
indicating that I come from a broken home or anything. I'm just saying that, like, I watch this projector over here very often, and then I just fall asleep, you know?
It's literally one of those situations of I could go all the way up to my bed, but it's all the way up there.
Yeah, it's like it's 2 stories up to my bedroom, and I'm like, well,
yeah, why walk that far?
This Twitch stream is really good, and
I could go all the way up to my bedroom and sleep in the same bed as my wife, but Twitch.
Yeah, and
wife Twitch. Which do I pick?
Yeah, and like I have to like kick the cats out, and I don't want to, and you know it's a whole thing.
Good lord.
Well, speaking of Twitch,
oh boy,
let's talk about things that predate Twitch. I want to know what I want to ask you guys. What's the first video game you remember playing?
Oh god.
Oh, holy shit.
Super Mario Brothers 2.
Super Mario Brothers 2. Okay.
Yeah, that's my answer. Yep.
That's a good answer.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Well, that's funny because I was going to finish this off by saying the original and Duck Hunt. God, Josh and I played a lot of Duck Hunt.
I feel like for some weird
and then
reason,
we dropped off entirely for a Genesis, and I have a lot of Sonic games in my memory.
Yeah, for some reason I remember playing the original later. I don't know how that's possible because, like, I think the game came with the console, but I guess I didn't care that much, and I played Super Mario Brothers 2 first. I don't know.
So the reason why you have memories of playing the original later is because Super Mario Brothers DX came out for the Game Boy Color.
What are you talking about?
I know.
I'm talking about the
weird.
original Nintendo.
What are you talking about?
No.
What? I was born in 1985. The fuck?
And your memories are a lie, and all that you actually remember is the Game Boy Color. I'm kidding.
No. Listen, look, man. I played Link's Awakening in black and white. Actually, green and white, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Green and black.
Green and black, yeah. Green and white, no one would have been able to see the screen.
Yeah, true.
Can you imagine that timeline?
Oh, Christ, no, I can't.
Where the Game Boy is as bad as the Virtual Boy?
I hate this timeline.
Oh no. I think my first video game was actually on a PC rather than on a console. Because my grandfather, before he died, he was really into computers, and like he had like 3 or 4 of them in his basement. But it was like 1995, right? So, like one was running 95, one was running Windows 3.1, and like they were DOS games that you had to load from a floppy card and use a command prompt in order to get them to open. So this speaks to how young I was at the time, but there was like a Fisher Price game where it was like, maybe 64 by 64 pixels or whatever across the screen. You would drive either a fire truck or a school bus all around the neighborhood. There was also another one called Chips Challenge. Did you guys ever play that?
The name sounds familiar.
Okay, Steve remembers.
I remember.
Yep.
I gotta look this up now.
I spent hours and hours playing Chips Challenge, and being as young as I was, I couldn't figure out half the puzzles. Ski Free. How about Ski Free? Did any of you guys play Ski Free?
Oh, yeah.
I played Ski Free. I played all the Windows 3.1 games.
Yeah.
Ski Free.
So, if we're allowed to include computer educational shit, who remembers Pajama Sam?
Pajama Sam?
No.
Pajama Sam.
Pajama Sam. I thought you said Toe Jamma Sam. I was like...
No. Toe Jam and Earl is something else.
I've heard of Pajama Sam, but I never actually played it.
Yeah, I think I wasn't rural enough for you.
Hmm.
I mean, I think I was the rural
Damn.
one. I grew up in a town of 4,000 people surrounded on 3 sides by farms. So, but yeah, speaking of old games, I kind of wanted to get into talking about the original Age of Empires and Age of Empires 2. Because that,
Oh, here we go.
I think that playing Age of Empires, like, so the story of how I ended up finding Age of Empires is slightly complicated. My parents got me a joystick and the original Combat Flight Simulator for us to play on our computer. And bundled with that came a little advertisement for the Age of Empires expansion, Rise of Rome. And I was like, ooh, what's this? And while we were visiting a friend of the family, I found out that they happened to have Age of Empires on their computer. And so I started playing it, and I was hooked. And I think that that's kind of when I kind of became a gamer. So my first real foray into like regular gaming was RTS.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna just quickly throw this out there. I think at some point in the near future, we should all play a game of Age of Empires together.
Great. I immediately surrender because I have never played Age of Empires.
I mean, it's what RTSs have you played?
So the big RTS I was into was the original Starcraft.
Oh, of course.
Like that was actually the first real PC game I ever got into as a gamer. Like my first real time I consider myself a gamer was, God, not even because Ocarina of Time, because I watched my brother play Ocarina of Time. My formative memory was on Majora's Mask.
Ah. But yeah, I mean, like if Will, are you saying you want to do a like all of us in the same room playing a deathmatch, or all of us playing multiplayer against each other?
I think we should all play against each other.
Okay.
And then if possible, like record it. And then just see what the results of it are, just so we can all like laugh at it later.
Oh boy.
Right.
You want to really,
I'm
if you
gonna
want to
die.
get that Let's Play channel off the ground, dude, then you and I
I'm
gotta
talking about
talk.
for this channel.
Oh,
Like if we're all playing a game together, it's got to go on this channel.
Yeah, I'm
fair
sure
enough.
I'm sure it could be done, but yeah,
Listen.
like as far as StarCraft goes, I mean I mean, we all love StarCraft. I mean, I remember seeing how into it you guys were in college.
Yeah, that game was so much fun.
StarCraft, yes, StarCraft was great, honestly, and it represents a time that is now no longer because Blizzard is dead.
I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about. I
dead,
played
but-
it again the other day.
A demon called Activision ate its soul.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say dead, but they're definitely like really,
Yeah.
making a lot of bad moves.
Oh, God. Look up the Super Best Friends bit about the 3 Bs, and that's all I'm going to say.
The 3 Bs.
Yeah, it's about a comment. So the backstory to this is that a number of the former Super Best Friends were all QA testers. And one of them recounts a story about how while on lunch they talked to a guy. They were talking to a guy about their favorite devs, and one guy mentions and one guy they talked to was like, I believe in the 3 Bs: Bethesda, BioWare, and Blizzard. And the guy who's telling the story can't help but it mentions that he couldn't help but turn away so that the other guy would not be able to see how hard he was laughing. And the other guys asked, when was this? And the guy says, this was 2012. And Matt and Pat respond in unison, that's too late!
Yup.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Man. But yeah, that's the thing is, listen, RTS is great, and so the thing is, I love a lot of stuff around RTS, even though I'm not so good at them myself. It's also part of the reason I'm more of an action game guy.
Yeah, I can respect that. Look, I will play any game for the story more so than the multiplayer. Because I can enjoy, the campaign and finding out, what's going to happen to Kerrigan? What are the Protoss up to? Or take it to FPS. Ooh, is Master Chief finally going to finish the fight? If I go into multiplayer, I get my butt kicked by people half my age, and I'm like, okay, this was fun until you started insulting my mother every 4 seconds. So,
they're stomping your fortified city, all while calling you slurs and saying things that your family would not be happy to hear about.
So hold on a second. So 2 things. One, as a guy who enjoys fighting games, oh my god, I feel this. Maybe less slurs, but definitely a lot of get wrecked, motherfucker. 2, have you ever heard the legendary story of the dude who I think it was I can't remember the game. It was either a battle royale or it was Team Fortress 2 or something. But there was a dude who like his baby was crying on the microphone, and everyone was like, "Dude, go check your baby." He's like, "Nah, man, I'm playing this match." It's like, "Dude,
oh my gosh,
go check on your baby."
Bro.
When the other people in the game are better parents than you.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff that we could say about StarCraft that I'm sure has been said by other people, but I want to talk about where I got StarCraft. Gamestop.
Okay.
Now, this would have been a better thing to talk about 2 weeks ago when I thought we were gonna do this, and then it turned out we couldn't.
Because my computer died.
Yeah,
because Windows decided, you need to update your operating system. You don't need a working computer now.
Well, Tino, where one door closes, another opens, because we can sit here and do what we like to call a post-mortem.
Oh yeah, well I think the story has been talked to death by commenters from all over the place. So I will recap it in terms of a metaphor. A bunch of stuffy Protoss Archons got Zergling rushed, and they were like, "Hey, no fair, that's not right." And then they asked the devs to please nerf the Zerg, and especially the Zerglings. Devs took a look and said, "Oh, you know what? We'll oblige. Yeah, let's nerf the Zerglings. There are too many underlings. We need more overlords." And that's the story of, well, pretty much everything since Gamergate.
What?
Damn.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my recounting of the 21st century.
You're not wrong.
Ooh. Oh, man.
You're not wrong. You're just an asshole.
That was quite the plot twist at the end there. Oh god.
But yes, you were gonna say something, Will?
Oh yeah. So on the note of I want to take this back a bit to Age of Empires.
All right.
Because we could talk about StarCraft all day long, but I think there's something to be said about a game that came out in, let me just get the exact day real fast.
I think it was 1995 or 94.
No, that was, I think, the first one.
Oh, you're talking about AOE II.
Yeah,
I think it was 97? 98?
Yeah, Age of Empires 1 came out on October 15th, 1997. And then 2 came out September 30th, 1999.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I think 2 just got, in January, a new patch that added 2 new civs.
Mm.
So this
right,
game...
so 23 years later...
Yes, is still getting updates. And if you look up, the audience rating summary on this thing, it has almost 400 reviews, and the overwhelming majority of them are 5 stars.
That's how you know it's a well-made game. It holds up after all this time.
Yeah. It survives despite everything.
Here's what's really fun and interesting about this game. So I was talking to Tino and Dave last week about this. So they added the Sicilians and the Burgundians, like these two new civs, right?
Oh yes, and the
mhm.
Burgundians are OP.
Civs got nerfed over the last week, Tino.
Oh. Oh.
I'll talk about that in a second, but I want to address something real fast. How many of you guys have actually played the original Age of Empires 2, the campaign?
Not the original.
I've
only played
I
the
never,
HD
I didn't
version.
make it all the way through the campaign, but I have. Yes.
Okay. Did you ever?
I
play
was
the
9
Joan of
at the
Arc
time.
campaign?
Yes, I did play the Joan of. That's the one part that like I actually remember somewhat.
Right. Okay. Do you remember in the first mission where you're playing as Joan of Arc and your enemies are the British, which are classed by the Britain civilization, and the Burgundians, which was classed by the Franks civilization?
Yes. Yeah. It was the Britons and the Franks. Yeah.
Yeah. So now in the update, when they say your enemies are the Britons and the Burgundians, they
actually
edited that first mission so that now the Burgundians are actually played by the Burgundians and not the Franks.
Oh, and that made the campaign like twice as hard, right?
No, it's because they don't have access to their economy bonus. It's just the units they have on the thing.
Oh,
but
right,
now
right.
It's a detail. It's a well done detail to show that hey, we didn't forget things.
Yeah. Like I was surprised because I just played Joan of Arc's campaign last night on a whim, and I actually looked to see what civ was playing them. I'm like the Burgundians. I'm like, holy crap, they really like updated this thing. Like I was shocked because like the dialogue is still the same for the most part. Like they called them the Burgundians back in '99. But the fact that now there's a Burgundian civ and that's what's staffing that enemy, I'm like, okay, damn, they really put a lot of effort into this.
I'm amazed at the dedication for updating something that was implemented back when everybody was still worried about the Y2K virus.
Yep.
So, here's a question for you, Will, and this is a bit of a homework assignment for you.
Sure.
You need to figure out if the people who are working on Age of Empires 2 now are the same dudes from 20 years ago, or they're fans who grew up and started to work for the company.
Combination of both.
I think it's
because
both,
from what I understand, so Age of Empires was made by the now defunct Ensemble Studios.
May they rest in peace.
Yeah, they made great games. They even made the Halo RTS.
Yeah, they made Halo Wars. I think that was their
Halo
last
Wars,
thing before they were absorbed.
Yeah. So Ensemble Studios got like nuked, but then Microsoft was like, "Hey, you guys are great. Work for us." And they're like, "Okay."
You guys look good. Get in.
Well, they kind of were working for Microsoft the whole time. It's just that they stopped existing as a separate entity.
Yeah, so they just got merged in. And then I don't know what happened exactly. All I know is that back in, I want to say 2013 or so, Evan Sywinski actually hit me up and said, "Hey, they're re-releasing Age of Empires. We should play it." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he sent me the trailer, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I need to get this game."
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I mean, I loved this game. Like, I played this game for hours on end. I made so many custom maps in it. It was just, you couldn't ask for a more fun game. So then they added the two new civs, and I was playing them last week, and they already got nerfed, which this is just, I can't get over how funny it is. Hold on, I want to look up the exact day that this thing got all right. February 11th. So the day after we talked last week.
some Age of Empires dev heard you talking shit from the block.
Yes.
So Will, just to give everybody context, why don't you tell us about some of the absurd bonuses that the Burgundians had initially, and didn't the Sicilians have something weird going on?
Well, I'm gonna go to sleep because it's gonna take an hour.
Let me set the stage of it.
Simplify it though. Simplify it, because a lot of people might not be AOE players.
Right, brevity is the soul of wit, Will. I'm just gonna remind you of that.
So the shut up, Dave. That was short.
The only reason I'm saying this is that the last time you did this explanation, it took an hour.
It did.
It was engaging and
That's
interesting, but now we have listeners.
No, now I could streamline it. So the Sicilians are really good because they can do this thing where they could build a unique unit called the Sergeant, which is like a pretty good melee unit, and the Sergeant could build their version of the tower called the Donjon. Mm-hmm. So you don't need villagers to do a tower rush. Now the Donjon can make the Sergeant unit. So as long as you have like the stone to keep building towers, you can really tower rush the hell out of your opponent with them. Like they beat the Japanese and Koreans at
you
the
can
tower
just
rush
you can continuously build additional pylons. Got it.
Yes, it's
endlessly
really effective too. I've used it in their campaign, and it's a surprisingly effective tactic for winning. Now they got nerfed because here's what they got nerfed with. On Nomad-style maps, the first town center can no longer be that's built no longer benefits from their construction speed bonus. Their civilization's resistance to bonus damage is no longer applied to siege weapons. Sergeants can no longer construct donjons in Battle Royale game mode. It takes away part of their super usefulness. And then their technologies. First Crusade used to be one where for every town center you had when you researched it, you got like 10 sergeants. So if you had 5 town centers, you got 50. But if you had 6, you only got 50. Now it's 7 sergeants per town center, and I don't know if they upped how many town centers spawn them. So I think you get a max of 35. So you get a lot less. You get 15 fewer units.
Yeah. Well, there were different crusades throughout history, so maybe they're just reflecting a change in the timeline.
Right. And their second tech, which what it used to do is when you researched it, everyone on your team got a gold bonus for each unit you had. Now it's everyone on your team gets a gold bonus for each military unit they have. So, Tino, if you're playing Sicilians and I'm playing Burgundians, and I've only researched like 2 units, like I only have 2 units out, and you have like a full army of 300 and you research the tech, you're going to get 1,500 gold.
Yeah.
I'm going to get 10.
All right.
So before, it would be like it didn't, you could just let the Sicilian player do whatever, knowing that you were going to get a nice little like chunk of change at some point. And now it's like you got to coordinate, like, does everyone have at least 100 units?
That sounds like the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals.
It kind of
is. It is bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
So the Burgundians, however, were like the real ridiculously OP civ because
it doesn't. Their bonuses don't even make sense.
No. So all right, here's the thing. In terms of military units, they don't have the best. You can find other civilizations that have better paladins because they don't get bloodlines. You can find other civs with better archers because the Burgundians don't get thumb ring. You can even find civilizations with better infantry because the Burgundians actually it's hard to find civilizations with better infantry because they get all their armor and weapon upgrades. But that's not the problem. They also get a unique unit called the Costiliere, which it's a mounted unit, and when it rams into an enemy unit, it deals 40 points of impact damage. So it can take out a lot of units and deal half damage to others, which makes it really effective at killing annoying units. Mm-hmm. That's not where the Burgundian strength is. See, relics in Age of Empires 2, when you collect them, generate gold, but for the Burgundians, they generate gold and food. So if you could just grab a bunch of relics, you have a constant supply of gold and food coming in. So when your opponent runs out of gold and they can't make paladins anymore and they got to resort to like halberdiers and spearmen, you're still making paladins, baby. You got the gold for it. Then they have a tech that it changes all their food into gold at a rate of 2 to 1. So if you have like 100,000 food, you get 50,000 gold, which is insane. And the other thing that does is it also makes your farmers slowly generate gold as they farm for food.
Yeah, that's just this thing about the interchangeability of gold and food for the Burgundians that doesn't make sense. Like a relic generating food. Like I'm picturing some monk eating a corner off the Shroud of Turin, and that's the real reason that it has holes in it.
Yeah, no, I got a better one for you. It's just a farmer digging up the field. It's like, no, more gold. I can't plant seeds. We're going to starve.
No, but they get food and gold out of the farms, Dave.
Well, yeah,
And
eventually
when you're
the farmer
starving,
realizes...
when
It's
you're
like when
starving,
they pull
anything
up
is
the
tasty.
potato. The potato's
Exactly.
like,
When you're
here's a gold
starving,
coin
you can
for
chew a ruby.
Yeah, pretty much. And then here's the other fun thing: they get a tech called Flemish Militia, which turns all their villagers into like Flemish militia, which it kills your economy for a little bit. So you better have food to remake all your villagers when you have this. But let's say you have 200 villagers. Now you have 200 Flemish militia, which have spears and deal bonus damage to cavalry and have more hit points than a champion swordsman and can actually kill a champion swordsman if they get the first hit in and can like really just overwhelm infantry and cavalry.
Like I said, they're OP.
And then once you research that and all your villagers convert, not only can you replace all your villagers by rebuilding them, but then you could keep training more Flemish militia.
So I have a question. How did they nerf them?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Dave. So, here's how the Burgundians got nerfed. So, to just quickly describe one thing. Each civ has a unique unit. Now, the Costiliers is the Burgundians. And each unique unit has two forms. Their regular form and their elite form. You get their elite form by researching it. So, the Costilier used to deal 35 damage when it rammed into something. The elite Costilier used to deal 40 damage when it rammed into something. Now the Costilier deals 25 damage when it rams into something, and the elite Costilier deals 30 when it rams into something. So it deals less impact damage. And finally, the Costilier no longer deals double damage against units with the Archer armor class, and that is the end of the nerfs for the Burgundians.
So you're saying they didn't actually get nerfed?
The only thing that got nerfed was their elite unit, which people weren't using anyway.
So you're
No one
saying
was
nothing
using
happened,
Costiliers.
and their broken gold-eating ass is still fine.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? Here's the thing. The fact that the Costiliers got nerfed, like, people who weren't going to use Costiliers don't care. And people who were making Costiliers to do gimmick strategies with their paladins, they're still going to make them because, hey, if I could deal immediate, like, 30 damage to, like, a unit before I start attacking it, yeah, that's worth it.
You know, Akuma's super punch is a little over. Akuma's dragon punch is a little overpowered. Here, we're just going to give him a bunch of super armor. That'll make things better.
Yeah. Kinda.
God.
Speaking of Age of Empires and food, do you guys remember what the food cheat code was for the original Age of Empires? It was Cheesesteak Jimmy's.
No, that was for Age of Empires 2.
No, that was for Age of Empires 1.
No.
Prove me wrong.
The first one was pepperoni pizza.
That was either AOE II or it was the Rise of Rome expansion.
Holy shit, Will, someone from Philly really did hear you talking shit.
What do you mean?
Jimmy's is a cheesesteak place.
Well,
in
no,
Philly.
I was getting to that. I was getting to that because we were talking about how anime has kind of influenced some of our behavior. Well, this is one of the ways that video games have kind of influenced my behavior because when I was on orientation for when I was going to go to Temple, they turned us loose on South Street. So I'm just walking along down South Street and I happened to see Jim's Steaks and I remembered the food cheat from Age of Empires, and I'm like, could it be? And it's now my favorite cheesesteak place. So that's another way that dorky crap has influenced me and made me who I am. But I can't help but wonder, okay, did somebody from Ensemble Studios either work in Philadelphia or they were from Philadelphia and they were like, here's what we're going to put the food...
Or did somebody just have a really good cheesesteak one day?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, man.
It's... Yeah.
But yeah,
Cheesesteak Jimmy's is Age of Empires 2. Pepperoni Pizza is Age 1.
Huh. That's weird. I thought it was reversed. Okay, well, whatever the case, I knew the reference. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, so luckily we're still able to play Age of Empires 2 because it's been getting updates and it's still maintained and you can download it on Steam and whatnot. Unfortunately, that's not true of a lot of games that are still really good, but you just can't play them anymore because the hardware has advanced so much.
That's one of the big problems, honestly, is a video game preservation.
Yeah. How do you do that? With film, it's on. It's kind of almost hardware agnostic.
Well, that's the thing. There are video game archivists trying to do that.
Right. But even then, your specific hardware setup will have an impact on the game. I encountered this the hard way when I was back in college. Did any of you guys ever play like some of the really old sim games, like circa Sim 2000, like Sim City 2000, Streets of Sim City?
Talking about Sim Ant?
Games.
Yeah.
Sim Copter?
Yeah, I'm specifically thinking of Sim Tower. And the reason I'm thinking of Sim Tower is because time would pass in that game. Okay, that's normal. What I didn't realize is that it was based on your processor's clock speed. So I managed to get...
Oh, no.
I managed
no.
I managed to get a copy of Sim Tower to work on my MacBook. I'm not quite sure how I got it to work, but I was like, "Oh, I haven't played this in ages. Let me go ahead and just for some nostalgia's sake, I'll play it." I opened it up. 5 years had passed before I knew what was happening. I was like, "What the clouds are going by so fast. There's Santa Claus. There he is again. There he is again. What's going on?" Before I knew it, the sun behind it was turning into a red giant. I was like, "Okay, what's going on here?" So, yeah,
God.
It was based on processor clock speed, which made it unplayable, even though it would run and the hardware was more than adequate. Unfortunately, the hardware was too adequate. So
this is why emulation is important, people.
Yeah, and so Dave makes a good point. How do you preserve video games and just software that is dependent on certain hardware that was built at a certain time? And if like you think about people, kind of like historians or digital archaeologists or whatever, trying to reconstruct a lot of the earlier stuff because it won't run anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That's the literal challenge of archiving, and especially video games case. They've been recognized legally as distinct pieces of art, and to that end, there has been a movement for their preservation. But you're right. It's not just hardware issues they're running into. There's also legal concerns. Because video games have been around for 40 years, there's a lot of material that is definitely worthy of preservation. Unfortunately, their copyrights have not expired.
Right.
Meaning that some schmuck somewhere legally owns them, and so kind of hard to put them into your archive process.
Yeah, I mean, my hope is that like, I don't know if you've heard of like quartz storage technology. It's a form of read-only memory where they use a laser to like change the ionization of or like the spin state or the polarity or something about the quartz atoms, and because they can do that, once you shine a light through it, it'll affect the polarity in a certain way that will allow you to then read data from it. And as long as it doesn't physically break, it could last for millions of years. So that's a great way to have long-term data storage, as long as, people still have the ability to read the data. But yeah.
I'd say in the meantime, if to our listeners, if it matters to you, find a video game archiving project. There are several out there, and make a donation.
I also want to point out at that point that if you care about being able to preserve not just every video game, but your video game specifically, you might want to avoid the PS5 and its soldered-on hard drive.
Oh
God!
PS5 issues. So suddenly I don't feel so alone with my Red Ring of Death problems from the Xbox 360.
Oh, listen, as a guy who is actively looking to get a PS5, that one hurt.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till they
That
release
hurt.
the pro version to see if they don't make that mistake again.
My fear, and what's making me personally rush is that I'm afraid that future versions they're going to release will be like, no disk drive, get fucked. And I have an entire PS4 library that I am valuing the backwards compatibility on.
Yeah, well,
that
I mean,
kind of want.
I mean, look, that's a good reason to keep around old consoles, even if you don't think you'll need them, because backwards compatibility won't last forever.
True.
Well, I mean, you and I visited Vicky over the weekend. Like, she still has an NES, and you can play the NES.
If I listen, the thing is, she's so good at preserving this shit that if I get a PS5, I'm giving her my PS4 because she'll take better care of it than me.
I mean, I lost any interest in PS5 when I saw an article saying that it would basically have is there like a microphone built into the to the controller or something?
Yeah, just
and
like the Xbox.
Yeah, it's like voice activated, but like it would be constantly listening, and if like you said anything, even in the privacy of your own home, that somebody at Sony didn't like, they could like boot your account, be like, okay, I would like less Orwell with my video games, please.
See, I never heard about that shit, and I don't know if I believe you on that necessarily.
It might not be true. It might not be true. I saw it somewhere, and I was like, well. I'm more of a PC gamer than a console gamer anyway, so I think I'm going to save my money for something else.
And you want to talk about a listening device, why would they need to put it in your controller when you have one right here, and we're all looking into one right now?
Yeah, but, well, here's the thing. We're doing this voluntarily. And, if I don't want my phone listening to me, I can turn it off. It's like, I'm talking about like those always on listening devices like a Google Home or an Alexa or IoT devices. I mean, if you want to surveil people, that's the best way to do it.
Well,
I feel like we're getting into like political territory here, but that we might want to back off. But
I'll say I did not hear about that with the PS5. The only way I know the DualSense uses its microphone is to do some of its crazy haptic feedback bullshit, which is legitimately like a reason to get a PS5.
Right.
Like I've been hearing people who have played first-person shooters on the PS5 say that it feels like you're pulling the trigger on an actual gun when you use the DualSense.
That's pretty.
That's
cool.
That's how precise the haptic feedback is.
Yeah, I guess my only point is that stuff like this can be abused very easily.
Oh no, I agree with you. It can be. But you have to remember the main motivator of companies is profit above all else, no matter what they say. Everyone's out to make money. That's it.
Sure.
That's literally it. We just had an entire saga that was about exploiting that fact.
Right.
So on that note, Tino, if you check in the meme channel of our Discord,
I can't check right now because it'll mess up the recording.
All right, so I posted a comic, and it's from this comic guy, Jago Dibuja, and it's great. The comic's called Living with Hipster Girl and Gamer Girl.
Oh, no.
And this particular comic strip came out when the Xbox One and the PS4 were coming out, and it shows Gamer Girl at the store saying, like, didn't they say that, like, this console will spy on its users? And she's pointing to the Xbox One. And the salesman, just says, of course not. That's nothing more than a smear campaign. And then the second panel is the gamer girl, who is a very voluptuous young woman, taking a shower with, the soap just conveniently providing a sensor. And the Xbox One just, walking through the door to take photos of her.
And that's
Internet
why
of
they
Things,
stopped.
Ladies and gentlemen, Internet of Things.
Literally, the Internet of Things is the Internet of Things is a bad idea. Like, look, you want to put aside any political issues with being secretly watched for your ad data. Do you want to know what happens to Internet of Things objects when they lose connection to the internet?
They stop functioning.
Exactly. Hey, my fridge is on the internet. Why the hell did all my food spoil? Oh, because my modem went down.
Or even worse, the North Koreans hacked my toaster. Now the toaster won't stop singing Kim Jong Il's praises.
Oh God.
God damn.
we love Big Brother.
Oh God.
You get a piece of toast that has Kim Jong Un's face like just burned.
Oh yeah,
And it's just like
just burning right into my
treat
toast.
This like the Jesus toast.
Ah, yes.
I don't want to eat it.
Oh
It's
my
so
God.
beautiful. Dear leader and jam.
God. Oh God. Okay.
Since you brought up cash grabs, though, that people like to do that with remakes, especially in the film world. Every so often, though, it goes well. It goes right. So, what are some of your favorite remakes of either games or films or anything else really that you think did it well and maybe did it better? And I can already tell what some of you will answer.
All right, wait. Before we answer, Tino. Wait, guys, before we answer, Tino, you have to predict what each one of us is going to want to talk about. In this regard.
Okay, so Will, you're probably going to talk about Cobra Kai.
So hold on, stop.
you know what?
Is Cobra Kai a
bad guess.
remake or is that a sequel?
Well, it's kind of
That's a sequel.
It's a sequel, but like in like a reboot type thing, because it's like I don't know. It's kind of both.
It's a perspective switch. It's a sequel, but it's a perspective switch.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a feeling that Will was going to talk about that anyway, but
Actually, no.
okay.
I mean, we can have that discussion at some point, but I'd rather do it once you guys have had a chance to like watch the show.
Sit down and watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's going to be an entire episode of this podcast just talking about Cobra Kai.
Dave, I kind of expect maybe some FF7 and or near replicant.
Jury is out on FF7 remake for reasons I can't discuss without major spoilers.
Right. Well, I mean, it's been out
I
since
have to
last
see
March.
how certain things pay off because it's literally on that line of this will be brilliant or this will be shit.
Basically, the remake only encompasses like half of the first disc of the original game. Like,
And they're doing some stuff that will either be amazing or horrible. And there's no middle ground. They are treading a very thin line. But if they pull it off, it will be the stuff of legends.
I can't wait to see where it goes.
Off.
I can't wait to see where it goes, honestly. And then Steve, I honestly, I'm not sure what his answer would be.
My answer is a video game.
Which one?
Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening. Okay.
That's the one That's the one I agree with, just as a bog standard remake, with one big caveat, which is them freight rate issues.
Yeah, well, you can't win them all.
True.
It's
True.
really the moral of the story.
Can you win any of them at this point?
You
Actually,
can win some.
I wonder if you can include the HD versions of all those Legend of Zelda games. Because they were all pretty good in how well they preserved the thing, but they made updates to make sure that certain things that didn't work anymore because certain online services didn't exist anymore not interfere, and then they added in new shit.
Yeah.
That'll be very interesting considering that as of today, they just announced they're finally doing Skyward Sword HD for the Switch. Yep. Complete with something that everyone has been asking for forever, which is a way to play that without waving your arms around like a jackass.
Yay!
All right.
You okay, Steve?
No waving.
Wow.
You okay, Steve? You look freaked out.
No, I'm good.
Wow.
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 Wow. Give
Wow.
me that GBQ. Wow.
Wow.
As far as my favorite remake goes, I would have to say in terms of television, Battlestar Galactica. I saw the original
Ooh.
Battlestar Galactica, and then I saw the remake, and it is easily my favorite live-action TV series, hands down. But
The remake is awesome.
yeah, Will, you haven't answered.
Yes. So. I have 3 answers.
Mm-hmm.
The remakes of
You
Resident
can't have
Evil
3 answers.
1, 2, and 3.
Which are all
Okay.
really good.
Yeah. So,
Even if 3's a little weak.
and that's fair. The remake of 1, which came out on the GameCube like maybe 6 years after the original came out, is probably the strongest one.
Mm-hmm.
Just because there's a lot of elements of the original that got updated, but a lot of the original that kept the same. Like the fixed camera angles, the weapons you pick up,
Right.
character design. Like the models are more detailed because it's on a more powerful console, but
The Nintendo GameCube.
hey, still more powerful than the PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just the thought of that. That thought amuses me because it's part of the. There's this whole thing about how. Do you remember that there's this stretch of like Resident Evil games that came out on Nintendo?
Yeah.
Just like, do you know why that happened?
I don't actually. I thought I did. But...
Shinji Mikami had a meeting with Xbox, with Microsoft, and this was back before Microsoft figured out how to talk to Japanese devs. And Mikami just like rolled in with his posse, and because the Microsoft guys didn't understand what was going on, Mikami and his posse felt so disrespected by the Microsoft guys that they ripped up whatever deal they were working on, went straight into Nintendo, and immediately got 4 Resident Evil games approved, including RE4.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. So, as I've said, the best one is obviously the the first one, but I feel like that's the one people also know the most, so I'm not going to go too much into it. Resident Evil 2 Remake, just, oh my god, first off, that entire game looks beautiful. Like, it's just beautiful. I love the detail in the RPD. I really enjoy exploring familiar areas as well as new areas and having some kind of new puzzles to figure out. I hate that the puzzles seem kind of dumbed down. And the one thing that I will say that I hate in every Resident Evil game since, I want to say 6, is that they don't know how to do infinite ammo right. Like, infinite ammo is basically the reward you get for beating the game so good that the game's like, here, have these like super weapons, and you go, okay. And in games like 3 or 4 or even 5, 3 and 5 I would say did it kind of the best in a way, because you could get infinite ammo for any weapon in that game, and what that meant is when you aimed the weapon and hit the button to shoot, as long as you held that button in, you kept shooting. Same with 5. 4 kind of did it right, but they only did it with certain weapons, so you couldn't get it with every weapon in the game, but alright, whatever. 6 ruined infinite ammo.
As it ruined a lot of things.
You know what? 6 is better than people give it credit for, but that's not this discussion.
Fair enough.
What 6 ruined for me was infinite ammo, because infinite ammo should just be you aim the weapon and you hold down the fire button and you can just shoot as much as you want. 6 did this. Oh, you have infinite ammo. Just make sure you reload.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm still annoyed at that one.
You really, really need to start playing Devil May Cry.
Maybe. But here's why Resident Evil 2 Remake and 3 remake for that matter annoy me a bit, is because the weapons you could get that have infinite ammo do the same thing. Here's your infinite ammo. Make sure you reload. So, getting the special weapons.
One thing that I might say to that is like it might have something to do with like the game's underlying code and like how their ammo management system works under the hood. Maybe they weren't able to implement a method where you could just keep going without reloading.
I can explain it immediately. In Resident Evil, ammo was an item you carried, and the infinite ammo item you carried, and because in the original games, even though this was the same thing, guns were coded differently than ammo as interactable objects. And so that was just a matter of flipping a switch in the gun. In Resident Evil Remake, they decided that instead of flipping a switch in the gun itself, they just flip a switch on an ammo item. Nope. Do tell me.
Okay. Here's why that's not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Because Resident Evil 2 Remake does infinite ammo slightly better than Resident Evil 3 Remake. Because Resident Evil 2 Remake allows you to get the infinite Gatling gun, which doesn't need to be reloaded. It fires endlessly.
It's a gun literally designed for infinite ammo.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
that one gun in Resident Evil 2 Remake has true infinite ammo, but the rest of the guns don't.
All right, so you just use the Gatling gun.
Yeah, but that's the thing that annoyed me is that, like, oh, I got all these other cool weapons. I don't just want to use the Gatling gun all the time. I would love to get, like, some kind of item that allowed me to just make Leon's Magnum infinite ammo. Or, heck, you get Hunk's submachine gun. I would love that to have true infinite ammo, but it doesn't.
Well, I guess this is what mods are for.
That and for changing Mr. X's audio to have X to give it to you in the background.
Or to change Mr. X's character model to be wearing nothing but a banana hammock.
Hey,
or to change Claire's model so that it's just like nothing but like big titty Claire running around in a skimpy outfit. Boy, there's like 1,000 videos of that on YouTube now.
Or to change Leon's model so it's nothing more than Leon in a banana hammock. Come on, we gotta be fair.
That's true. Although someone made what's probably my favorite mod for Resident Evil 3 Remake.
What's that?
Do I dare ask?
Guess. Everyone gets one guess.
Jill in a swimsuit.
Tino, what's your guess?
I'm trying to be kind here.
Jill without a swimsuit.
Steve, what's your guess?
I don't think Steve can hear us. Check the general, he's saying.
Okay.
Steve's having issues.
Oh, okay.
We all do
Steve's
from time
hang
to
out
time.
with us for now. So, all right. My favorite mod for Resident Evil 3 Remake is the one that makes Nemesis look like his original design.
You know, I was expecting it to be more wholesome than us. Because Will only does this shit when it's more wholesome than us. You know, I look forward to seeing what comes out for Resident Evil 8.
You're gonna have day one nude mods for like the main vampire woman.
I mean, that's what the internet does.
It does. Listen, sometimes all people want is a giant woman, dude. I don't know how to explain this to you.
No, that's wrong. This is look. We'll go into more detail, but all I'm gonna say about the big vampire lady for now, because we're gonna have this conversation later on. All I'm gonna say about the big vampire lady are two things. She's infected with the mold. The same one, same mold that infected the Baker family.
Yeah.
Marguerite's spider diaper.
You are trying so hard.
No. No, I'm not trying hard at all. I hate this. Because I know where this is going.
There's a clip from an old cartoon I can't find, which is like there was it's a school carnival and people are turning into monsters and some jock comes up to the kissing booth. He's like, and he slaps down like a $5. He's like, all right, babe, pump her up. And she turns into like this 12-foot tall a 12-foot tall monster that looks like the fucking xenomorph, complete with the second mouth that shoots out of her mouth and hisses at him. And all this dude does is he has a surprise look, and then he goes, jackpot.
Yep, I know what one you're talking about there.
And we've lost Steve.
Yeah, Steve is having audio problems, and now it looks
But,
like
yeah, dude, you will not stop people from fucking the monster.
No, I won't. And I'm not trying to. I'm just saying, look.
Which is funny, because Lady Dimitrescu is a tyrant. Like, we're all agreed she's a tyrant, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Am I the
big
only
time,
person missing the fact that, people are basically simping for a character that's trying to murder them?
No,
Tino, that happens. That would happen if she was like 4 foot nothing.
You know what?
People like getting Red Sonja.
I'm gonna say this right now. Simping for Lady Dimitrescu is still better than Ethan simping for his bioterrorist wife.
Yeah, no, at least you know what you're getting with Lady Dimitrescu. Ethan made the wrong choice in Resident Evil 7.
What, you mean saving the woman who within 20 seconds of rescuing her calls another guy daddy?
Oh, God, yeah.
You mean the woman who keeps saying, like, it's all complicated. I got to explain it to you. But not right now. There's no time for... You literally at one point in 7, and we're going to... there's going to be... We're going to need...
We should wait until we do a full Resident Evil episode.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to need more than one. All right, I think
Steve
has left us.
The counter argument is that the only reason that is a good thing that happens is because it directly leads to the best Resident Evil DLC that has ever existed.
What, End of Zoe?
Yes.
I mean, maybe.
Dude, you punch the monsters with your fists! You play Louisiana Hillbilly, who is an ex-boxing champ, who literally punches the heads off of these deep mold monsters.
Dave. I was just going to say, I knew you weren't talking about Not a Hero with, like, the Walmart...
Oh, you mean the half-hearted attempt to tie this back to the original continuity?
Yeah. Oh, look, it's Chris Redfield with the bioterrorist fighting organization that he never joined.
Oh, hey, look, it's Chris Redfield. Why does he play like he's a generic first-person shooter hero?
Oh, look, it's Chris Redfield. Why am I able to hear that his voice actor did not enjoy this role?
Oh, look, hey, it's Chris Redfield, and he's not using an umbrella-manufactured super fist to punch through the head of his brother in a literally Devil May Cry style repeating 3 boss fight.
Yeah, that was just.
Oh, look, it's Chris Redfield. I don't know how to end this joke because I haven't played any of the Resident Evil games.
We will be fixing that soon enough. Not to cut this short, but Steve literally can't get his thing working, so he's gonna peace out for now. So I think this might be an opportune time to wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is one. There's one
last
thing I wanted to say about just remakes. One of the things that I enjoy watching on YouTube the most are not actual studio remakes but fan remakes. There's a guy who has just kind of been going through Ocarina of Time and recreating it in Unreal Engine 4, and I don't it's something. It looks amazing for one thing, and it looks like it plays really well. There's just something about that sort of, it's like video games as fan art almost. Which is
straight up.
Think about where we've gotten to, where you can make a video game that is fan art of something else. I enjoy watching
another Metroid 2 remake.
I enjoy watching the creativity of individuals doing that on their own time, just for the heck of it, and just seeing all the talent that goes into it, because there's a lot of stuff that has to go into making a video game, and they just what they create is just so cool and so beautiful, and it's such a great tribute to the original. That's what I wanted to say before we got into Resident Evil.
I want to say that there are a few more remakes that do come to mind. I don't have a specific one favorite. Putting aside every story risk that FF7 Remake is taking, the fact that they turn that into an action game warms and melts my little heart.
I love the depth that they went into even with side characters. Like, when I saw how much they were developing Jesse, Wedge, and Biggs, I was like, I know what happens to these characters. Please don't make me care about them.
So, to that extent, I do love how it's very clear. Speaking of remakes, someone on that dev team was playing a lot of Yakuza, which is why when you get to that section of Midgar, it looks practically identical to Kamurocho, and why the Honeybee Inn is a fully fledged rhythm minigame.
Oh God.
Oh
Yeah. There's still a lot of rabbit holes we have to go down, and I feel
there are. But speaking of, my cap on that is a good remake are the remakes of Yakuza 1 and 2. So check those out if you can. They're not the same as their original, but please check those out if you can.
I feel bad because Steve mentioned that Nintendo Direct happened today, and that'd be like something cool to touch on, but he's not here, and I don't want to dive into that without him. Mainly because I didn't watch it, and I don't know anything about it other than Ocarina of Time is coming to the Switch, which big surprise.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's not?
Skyward Sword is coming to the Switch.
Oh, I heard Ocarina of Time was.
Well, that's probably something that we can talk about next time, because I don't even know what Nintendo Direct is, so...
It's what Nintendo does instead of a big E3 presentation, and they do it more often. Basically 50 minutes of new game announcements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
Steve is still alive, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Everybody?
Yeah, he's saying just finish up the podcast. I'll upload what he has. So we're ending with technical difficulties again.
Well, it wouldn't be the game room without technical difficulties. Let's be honest.
No, it would
Indeed. The jank is part of the charm. Oh shit, that's a remake. I didn't mention the Shadow of the Colossus remake. And the Demon Souls remake. Fuck. Like, the Demon Souls remake has so much care in it, they preserved all the good bugs.
Oh, I think
that's how you know they're not bugs; they're features.
Exactly. And people discovered mechanics in the remake that it's like, is this something they added for the remake? They went back to the old game. No, that was always in the old game, and no one noticed. We need to discuss... next time I get control of the topics, we're discussing the Souls series. Because, oh my god, I have never wanted... There's one... I just want Will to play Bloodborne. I want this Resident Evil fanboy to play Bloodborne because I know they'll get a kick out of it.
I mean, I never said I wouldn't.
True.
Anyway, I think...
All right, guys. Everyone, Good night. Stay safe. Stay warm.
Really? Stay warm? Or do you really want me to stay warm? And don't lie to me or I'll know.
Nope, stay fucking warm, because 5 to 8 inches.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be out in it. Yay!
Oh,
I think I'm going to become a pirate in the South China Sea now.
Tino, please be safe.
You know, that Bacardi keeps you real warm in the cold, Tino.
It does, actually.
Oh,
Just
Jesus.
not while I'm driving.